If you play League of Legends, you'll know that there's a lot of talk about elo and low elo and being stuck there, and this is often referred to as Elo Hell. Now, there's also like big debates about whether Elo Hell is actually real, whether you can actually be a good player stuck in low elo because of your teammates, or whether if you're good, you'll just climb out and there is no Elo Hell. Well, this video is my theory on Elo Hell and how I think it works. Alright, first of all, to some extent, you can, of course, carry yourself to high elo. If you couldn't do that, then there would be no high elo. But of course, you can get yourself to a high elo if you are very good at the game and much better than your teammates. That is how all the good players, like, for example, Big Fat GG or Hotshot GG and other players like that, that's how they get to high elo, because they can just carry games and win regardless of their teammates. Kind of comparable to how Smurfs can win in low-level games no matter, how bad their teammates are usually. But that still leaves a large gray area, because you could still be better than your teammates but not be able to carry and win and get to a high elo. Now, you might say that, well, if you're better than your teammates, that eventually you're going to get to a higher elo, whether it be the mid elo or just higher than where you are. You would not be stuck in low elo if you were better than your teammates. Well, the thing is, it doesn't really work like a straight probability. It doesn't factor in quite that well, because you being better than your teammates doesn't always turn out to be more odds in your team's favor. Sometimes one feeder can ruin a team of 4 good players, and conversely, a team of 4 bad players can be carried by 1 good player. And the reason for this is a good player's positive effect on the game may very well be heavily overshadowed by a bad player's negative effect on the game. In other words, has more on average good players than another team, because the bad players on the team with more good players could have a very negative effect on the game, which overshadows the positive effect the good players have, and they could lose to a team of all bad players, but who are not quite as bad as the bad players on the team with more good players, if that makes sense. An example of how a game can be ruined like that is, let's say you ace their team, or there's just a good opportunity to Baron for some reason, but only, 2 others or 1 other person is willing to do Baron, then you can't do it. And then let's say the other team gets it, and then they eventually win because of that. I mean, that's just one example. Don't read too far into it, but your game certainly can be ruined by other people. And you might say, well, most of the time, if you have, on average, more good players on your team than bad players, then you're more likely to win. Well, this is not even always true, because, for example, in the 1200s ELO, maybe the bad players there far outweigh the average good player in that ELO. And, so there's just too many things to factor in that it doesn't always come out even. And in fact, a lot of the time, it might not even come out even. But there is a limit to how far Elo Hell can go. Obviously, you can only be so much better than your teammates without being a higher ELO. There's maybe only 100 ELO unaccounted for, or maybe 200, or maybe just 50. I'm really not sure, but, there's certainly some ELO unaccounted for, and that is certainly possible when you're better than your teammates. So that is my theory on Elo Hell and how it works. Yes, you can be better than your teammates and kind of quote-unquote stuck in low elo or wherever you are, but to some extent you kind of do belong there. Exactly how much elo is unaccounted for, again, I'm not sure. You could be, maybe